I think from now until obviously until the 27th, I think I'll just make this announcement now. Tony R's is going to be closing after July 27th, so if you want to, go there for dinner, you know, now is your chance to do it. Go now or forever wish, you had. Again, I was just there, on Saturday, and now I wish I could go back. But you know what? If by between now and the 27th I'm unable to go, I can at least say that I went this past Saturday, so I'm good. Again, it's just like whenever before Lent starts, I'm always like, be sure to have all the meat you can on Fridays before Lent starts, or you're not gonna be able to do it until after Easter. I mean, even during Lent, even when I know for a fact I did everything I could, I'm always just like, not having meat on Friday stinks. But I did everything I could, or I wanted to do. So yeah, you know, but yeah, I'm getting ahead of myself. Just if you're not able to go to, if you're able to go to Tony R's, do it now, or you know, again, forever wish you had. So anyway, good morning, happy Monday, everybody, and I think from now on, what I'll do is, whenever I do an episode of watching Wano, I think I'm going to do a video today, which would be this one. My video today will be essentially thoughts on the episode and overall aftermath of what just to explain a few things and what have you. I mean, I've had a good 8 hours of sleep. I got up, worked out, did everything that I wanted to do. So now we can begin. So, yes, a lot of really big things happened. One thing that was not in the manga that they put in the anime is you saw that Luffy's eyes glowed red, like right before that bullet was fired. That's what observation haki is. Basically, I mentioned that armament haki, for the most part, you can cloak your weapon or fist, in black, and it's more effective in battle, especially against, power users, which, you clearly saw, Luffy being able to stretch his arm is one of them. So, that's what armament haki does. But observation haki does exactly what you saw, and that is, you can sort of predict what is about to come, or predict your opponent's moves. You can predict how many people are in a given area. You can do that as well as sort of tell how strong that person or thing is. So that's really cool. But they're doing the whole glowing eyes red thing because it became a main staple in not the last arc, but the one before that, which was Whole Cake Island, where Luffy battled Charlotte Katakuri, who trained his observation haki so incredibly much that he could actually see a little bit into the future. That's why Luffy versus Katakuri is hailed as quite possibly the greatest fight in One Piece history so far. Yeah, that was a pretty big fight. Although, considering what the next episode is supposed to bring, because they do like a little preview at the end. Personally, if either Whole Cake Island or Enies Lobby were physically the most devastating for Luffy, the most devastating overall in terms of physically, mentally, and emotionally was Marineford, and I'll be able to explain more a little why after the next episode, so I'll look forward to that. They did Zoro justice. I'm just saying that right now. He wielded all three of his swords. Yeah, and it was awesome. And it was great seeing them in action with that beautiful animation given us by the people who did, Dragon Ball Super Broly, which again was a fantastic movie. I'm sorry. It's weird. I went to bed at 9:30 and I couldn't get myself out of bed when I normally would have. It's weird. Anyway, so again, Zoro is able to use his 3 swords, which is awesome. And the Dragon Twister is one of his signature moves, which is awesome. Got to see that. What else is there? Oh yeah, right. You'll notice that, well, one of the reasons that One Piece is known for doing filler, one of the ways you can do filler in anime in general is sort of, use animation to recap what had happened in a previous episode. Hence why Luffy was able to get everyone else off of the Sunny before they went into that giant whirlpool. As well as the reason why that octopus was there. So, yeah, that's what ended up happening. Although, my curiosity is, devil fruit users can't swim. They essentially sink after they fall into the water. Normally, that would have been the end of Luffy. How do you wash up on shore? I don't know. I guess it's just one of those plot devices that, it doesn't really bother me. It doesn't really concern me anyway. But it's just it is a question that we always have to ask whenever we see that in any work of fiction, for that matter. Let's see. What else was there? What else happened that is of true note? Another thing that was definitely filler, but this was actually okay filler, which is, obviously after Zoro escaped his quote-unquote execution, you notice that, the Straw Hats were, reacting to, Zoro escaping, his wanted poster being there, stuff like that. And they did do that in the manga, but what they did here in the anime, which is good, is, they actually elaborate, like each of the subsequent Straw Hats finding the poster and then, reacting to it. Or in the case of Frankie, it was, hearing about, what Zoro did and, imitating Zoro's quote-unquote 3-sword style that, everyone made fun of him for, but because Frankie and Zoro are crewmates, then, of course, he would know how it works, which, I thought that was really kind of fun. But, again, Zoro did risk giving away what they're doing in Wano, which is to overthrow Yokozuna Orochi, or the Shogun, who, again, in the opening, you do see what he looks like, and when they get into actually animating him in the anime, I'll give my further thoughts on him, but let's just say it's one of those instances where I wasn't really that all pleased with who he is. And not just because he's a villain. Although, yes, he is a villain, and obviously we're not supposed to root for him. We want to root for the good guys. We want to root for the good guys. Yes, of course, you can have the villain win and be an entertaining story, but come on, it's always more satisfying and aesthetically pleasing when the good guys win and the bad guys lose, and that's hopefully what we will get out of Wano. Let's see. Oh, right, the lion dog and the baboon. That's about the closest thing we've ever had to a legitimate kaiju fight in One Piece ever, which, right on. I'm all down for a kaiju fight, and the baboon wielded a sword, which is always really cool. And I mentioned that you also saw Conqueror's Haki. Now, that was basically Luffy going and then the baboon is incredibly tame or whatever. Yeah, see, I mentioned that Observation Haki and Armament Haki are essentially the two traditional ones. But Conqueror's Haki is that incredibly rare third one that 1 in a million people have. And obviously, as you clearly saw, Luffy has it. So, fun fact, it was actually the biggest article of foreshadowing One Piece ever had, as Conqueror's Haki was actually featured in the very first chapter way back in 1997. Yeah. And they didn't explain what Conqueror's Haki really is until chapter 598. So, or 597. Yeah, 597. So, well over a decade later. That's pretty big foreshadowing when you think about it. But yes, under the right circumstances, excuse me, you can act. Yeah, it's my nose. Although one thing that the anime does that the anime does that the manga doesn't do, or the manga does that the anime doesn't, is in the anime you saw that the beast was essentially, tamed, or if you see, if you use it against other people, it's going to completely knock them out. In the manga, it's actually a little more gruesome because when you use Conqueror's Haki, not only do you knock them out, but your victims are foaming at the mouth as to, like, how bad it is. So, yeah, it's pretty serious. We got to meet Otama, and Otama is just so adorable. I love that little girl is just so cute, and her devil fruit ability to essentially create, cheek udon, which befriends other people, which is awesome. That's actually very useful in trying to acquire allies. Of course, while I haven't really established whether it causes her like some sort of pain or great energy loss, what I do know is that if you want to make friends, personally, I'm better off just, talking to people, which, that's always nice. But, in a way, giving somebody food, that can sort of make me a friend, I suppose. That works. What else is there? Oh yeah, we got to see Luffy fight. Luffy fighting, that was always awesome. That's a real treat. For those of you guys who don't know, Luffy ate the devil fruit known as the Gomu Gomu no Mi, or in English is known as the Gum Gum fruit. His body is made of rubber. That's why his body can stretch the way it does. Which, just a brief rundown as to how he uses it. I mean, pretty obvious. He can use it to punch someone from far away. And another good thing about your body being made of rubber is physical blows do not hurt you. You can essentially, punch him and, it wouldn't really hurt him at all. However, rubber is not the most durable thing in the world, as obviously if you have something sharp or pointy, of course Luffy is susceptible to that. I mean, to be honest, everyone is susceptible to something that's sharp and pointy, but, they like to emphasize that, you can cut through rubber, so that's why they, stress upon that. Although Luffy's body being made of rubber really has its advantages. In fact, this would be essentially a spoiler, but one of the most underrated villains of One Piece is actually incredibly weak to Luffy's ability. But I don't want to give away what it is, but let's just say it was the face that launched 1,000 memes. That's what it was. Maybe I'll find a way to put a link into the description. But yeah, there was that. And you probably are wondering, well, what's so important about Haki if you keep mentioning it? Well, the thing about Haki, specifically armament Haki, that you really need to understand is, outside of understanding what a devil fruit user's physical natural weakness is, using armament Haki is the only way you can fight a devil fruit user. That's why it's been prominently featured a lot. So, if you are able to use Haki and you're able to fight Luffy, and your hand was cloaked in black, that punch would actually hurt Luffy. That's essentially how it works. And I think I've explained enough, and a few things that needed to be said. So yes, that's about all I have to say for right now. And it's a beautiful day outside on Monday, so I know you gotta go back to work, but just because it's Monday does not mean that it has to be all bad. And plus, Amphibia, the final 4 episodes of Amphibia of season 1, they're starting today. Cannot wait to see that. Can't wait to talk about that. And, yeah, that's about all I have to say for right now, other than, once again, Tony R's is closing on July 27th, so if you're able to go now, make the trip, because you're not going to be able to do that after July 27th. Like, favorite, share, hit that subscribe button, follow me on the social media platforms. I am humbled that I made this video for all of you guys to watch and enjoy for today. I hope we all have a wonderful, wonderful Monday. And remember, if any of you guys want to talk or chat, I'm always going to be here to lend an ear. And I'll always have your back. Take care and make good choices.